Hello Stampers, this is super awesome stamper Shirley Merker. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Wisconsin, USA. I am excited to be the first presenter in our Woohoo Weekend for February 2022. So I'm going to look at the computer, and if anybody is watching, give me a shout out so I can make sure I'm in the right spot going live. And I should have logged in and out of my computer before I went live. Great. I see myself. I'm in the right spot. So what I'm going to do is, hi Lisa and Francis. Thanks for watching. I'm going to flip the camera around and show you my workstation, and we'll get right to my demonstration. And close your eyeballs if you get dizzy, because I have to physically move the camera around. Okay, over here to my workstation. Cover it up, hopefully, so that, and I gotta strap you into my other camera stand here. All right, so get to see some of my mess. Tried to cover it up. Make sure you're in the frame. Hi Daphne, thanks for watching. I have 5 eyeballs watching me. Whew, I'm so excited. Never know when we're doing these things if people are gonna watch live, and it's always a lot more fun when we have people interacting. All right, so my presentation is going to focus on the Symbols of Fortune suite. This is the project that I will be demonstrating. Hi Emily and Maureen. Throughout this event, we are focusing on 4 different product suites, 2 product suites in two bundles. Let me show you which ones we are focusing on. Since I am starting off the presentation, we are focusing on the Symbols of Fortune suite, and that is the one I am using. Also, now I don't have these marked, Love and Happiness. I'm going to give you a little mini catalog tour. The Love and Happiness bundle. Now, you know, I don't know exactly what that one looks like because I don't have it. Somebody who is a demonstrator that's doing that set, let me know what page number it's on. Looking here, nope. So it's not there either. We are featuring, now everything is kind of went out of my head right now, what we're featuring. So maybe I'll just focus on what I am demonstrating, and everything else will come to me as I get going. Hi Sandra, thanks for joining live. All right, so I'm focusing on the Symbols of Fortune suite. And this is going to be the card that I am demonstrating. And I wanted to show you the pattern papers, because you may not realize that this is a specialty pack, and the price is a little more expensive than the regular designer series paper, because each sheet has gold embossing of some type on one side. So here is the pattern that I will be focusing on in my presentation. On the opposite side of the crane image will be this gold fan. This one's real pretty. If you don't want to purchase the stamp set, you could get the pattern paper pack and fussy cut all these cranes out. Opposite side of that is this, it looks like an Asian inspired themed pattern. It just looks like what would be on those panels, those floor panels and the wall panels that would be Asian inspired. That's the pattern that reminds me of. This is this pattern, kind of has the branches of the bush highlighted in gold. This one has like a paint splatter to it, and opposite side are these florals that can be fussy cut out. This one is a favorite of mine because I love crumb cake. So these are my downline cards for this month, and everybody should have received a downline card. If you're in my downline team, run out to your mailbox, maybe you got one in your mail. So this is my downline card for this month. So it does feature this bamboo pattern paper, and I offset it with this soft succulent colored cardstock. Stamped and die cut the crane and the 2 little dragonflies, and then just decorated inside. And also for a little bit of wow factor, I embossed the front with the time-worn embossing folder, which was in the fall catalog. but it is a carryover item. It is available if you put in the item number in the online store or search for Time Worn. It is not shown in the spring catalog though. So it's kind of a write-in. I don't really know what it's called. It's still available for purchase, but it's not shown in any of the hard copy publications. And then this is the last pattern, and this one would be perfect for some Easter cards. It's supposed to be Calypso Coral toned, so it's a kind of a cross between Calypso Coral and Blushing Bride. All right, so those are the pattern papers, and I just had to share how pretty those were. That's part of the Symbols of Fortune suite. Okay, so anybody got hello, Susan? Yeah, the bamboo paper is, love crumb cake things. It's hard for me not to hoard crumb cake themed things, or pattern paper. All right, so here is our sample card. Here's what I have in the inside. And here is my card kit. So I'm going to explain something now. I'm going to pull back in the pattern paper. Part of the reason why I wanted to show the pattern paper is because I wanted to show the full sheet of this pattern. And it has this serene moonlight scene. And what I did was, I just didn't want a background of it. I do have a background, but I wanted to pop it out. So I grabbed this frame from the Stitched So Sweetly die cut set. And what I did was, I looked to see where I could die cut one of these scenes out. Now, I could do it right here, and quite possibly that's where I did it. So I'm looking to make sure I have the moonlight in there and the crane, and I don't go over the edge. That one's kind of close. I generally cut things from the right hand side, so my guess is I came over here and I used this one. That way I had a little bit of leeway over here. So I would have cut off a generous piece, and then the next step would have been for me to, I've already done it here. So I would have cut off a generous piece, and by generous, let's see if this was the actual one I did. Yeah, I think it is. So this paper measures 12 by 12, and I cut off a 4-inch piece right there because that fits the Imperial card base just perfectly. So I cut off a 4-inch slab so it's 4 by 12. And then I decided where I wanted to put that cutout. So it was here. And I processed that through the Big Shot. And then I cut off a length so it fit my card front. So for the Imperial, it was 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And then for the metric, it would be about 10 centimeters by 14 centimeters. Metric, you might want to do a little bit less of a height because you want some of this left over. And if you kind of get one done, you can strategically plan where you want to do 2 of them. So right here, you probably could get 2 off of this strip right here. And then you cut the strip there. And then you might have some leftovers left over. And we're going to use those as well. So hopefully that was as clear as mud, my explaining of what I did. So I usually just tend to start with a 4-inch wide piece of Designer Series paper because that's what fits my card front. And I tend to fill my whole card front up. So whatever card base you're using, the tall dimension, the height dimension is as tall as you want. Just with a little bit of the soft succulent. Oh, and my camera phone is falling, isn't it? Let me move that up a little bit. I glanced up and I saw all that crazy stuff. What you saw was where I clean off my stamps. So before I use my stamp and scrub, I usually go on my mat, which is just a larger calendar area from a past month. I stamp that on the mat, which is what you saw because my camera is sliding that away. So I don't have to clean my stamp and scrub so often. There. Okay. I'll try to just kind of push that mat up a little bit as it is. My camera is adjusting itself. All right, so now I've got this. This is going to be popped up, but I've got a swag here. And I've die cut some things already. Let me get that out. So included in the Good Fortune dies is this swag of fans. They just are kind of fan leaves. And you can see that this swag does not fit the area that I cut. So what I did was, and I actually used 2 pieces of scrap for this. I used 2 pieces of scrap, and I cut 2 pieces because I was going to cut them apart anyway so that they would fit on either side of my picture. Okay, so that's how you can maximize that. You don't have to cut out 2 full sheets. You can certainly use scrap. And then I also die cut a soft succulent, one of these leaves right here. And that one will be placed up there. And the reason why I chose soft succulent for my color is because it, for my cardstock bases, was because it color coordinates with the pattern paper. And then I die cut a basic white using this double fan right here. It's more of a full leaf, whereas that longer one has got all the open lacy images. Right, and I layered that right there. And we're not done yet with layering. Included in this suite is this soft succulent satin ribbon. It's gorgeous. Satin shimmer ribbon is the official name. So if you like satin shimmer ribbon, that's the one thing that you want to add to your stash. And then I cut I usually just cut things off the roll. This is 5.5 inches. And I just wanted a little bit hanging off right there. And I will secure that down right now. And Sandra, I know if you're still watching, what are the other 3 items that we're showcasing? We are showcasing the Love and Happiness bundle. And I'm getting my events mixed up. I don't want to say a suite and then not have it be one that we're focusing on. So that's going to be right there. The tails are just going to be free flowing right there. All right, and now the rest of the adhering down, I am totally out of my Tombow glue. It is actually on the way to me, and I got a shipment notice that it's getting shipped to me starting today. But I have a lot of layers here, so you can just put a swath of your tape runner and secure it down that way. And it will grab on all the pieces. This one, I am going to use some glue dots. Oh, right there. I'm trying not to rip it. Our glue dots lately are super strong, which is what we want, right? But you have to be careful when you are using delicate dies or something delicate on them, that you don't rip the glue dot away from the paper. There. Okay. All right, I'm going to check my comments. And I'm going to do something else here too. Anybody have any comments or questions? All right, so what I did was we are featuring the Heart and Home Suite, the Butterfly Brilliance bundle, and the Love and Happiness bundle. So 3 of the 4 are from the spring catalog, if I'm remembering correctly. Right now here, not sure how I'm going to adhere this down, but if you look at my sample, I know it's kind of hard. It's monotone on white. I have 2 of these polished dots. Now the polished dots come in a package like this. There are clear, like opaque-ish ones, and these light pink ones. I chose the white ones, or the clear ones, and I have a little strip left. And what I am going to do is attach the polished dots. So I'm showing you a way you can hide some glue dots behind something, behind an embellishment. All right, polished dot there and there. Now I can hide a polish dot or a glue dot behind that polish dot. And that will serve as my adhesive for this delicate fan. See, I'm gonna have to pull really hard, pulling underneath that glue dot to get it off of the paper backer sheet. Another thing I can do is just use my take a pick tool and pull that off. There we go. That works. All right, now I just want it hanging off. Just a little bit tucked under. So you can't see that I cut it off. Then I'm going to grab another glue dot and tuck it right there. That will keep it secure on that little swag part. Okay, now we have this. We got to pop it up, of course, with some dimensionals. And I'm going to put the dimensionals kind of in the center because I've got this swag that I need to get around. One on either end. All right, and I'm not one to add a ton of dimensionals. I know when my mom has watched our videos before, she has gasped at how many dimensionals some of my fellow demonstrators use. But we come from a time frame when we actually cut our dimensionals in half to save them. Like we would cut these in half. I never would because then you get glue on your scissors and you gotta clean that glue off. But we come from a time where that's what we did. And you don't really need to cover your die cut or wherever you're popping up with dimensionals because it will just stay upright just fine. All right, I think I'm getting to be done here. Oh, inside pieces. All right, inside, we're gonna get to some stamping. Woohoo! That's the part of the woohoo weekend, the stamping, right? All right, so I'm using the basic gray. Valerie says she loves to pop things up on our cards. Yes, way back when that was like the only thing we had to make our cards be wow. That and heat embossing were the techniques that we used way back when. All right, I'm pulling in a stamp from the Queen of Fortune stamp set and sending 1,000 well wishes on your special day is the sentiment I use on the inside. You know what? Why don't I go all crazy? Let's pull this off. And let's use the much luck and good fortune. I think I've actually used the much luck and good fortune on a lot of cards lately because I think we all need a little bit of luck and good fortune wishing, right? Sending positive vibes through the U.S. mail. All right, so let's see if I can get this straight. And if it's not straight, we're going to do something else. Oh, it's straight, but guess what? I shadowed. Oh, shadowed. Okay, let's flip this over. Oh, it's not straight. It is not shadow, but it is not straight. So I will think about how I'm going to fix this. While I do that, let's pull in a few other things that I decorated inside with. So we've got this gorgeous satin ribbon. Go ahead and order that whole roll. You got 10 yards of it. I cut off a piece to decorate the bottom here. Now grabbing our tape runner because we want a flat piece of adhesive and my tape runner is almost out. So you want a flat piece of adhesive because any kind of glue dots are going to show through that satin ribbon. Oh, you can't see it. My camera stand is just being fussy today, isn't it? There. All right, so let me do that again. I just did a piece of tape just so you can see this. And then oh, I don't want to pull that up. Here we go. You can place that over there. And grab your paper snips and cut off for a custom cut. I'm going to have 2 on there. Luxurious, right? Luxurious card. Okay, now the other things I have on my kit here to use, when you do this technique of figuring out how to cut out a serene scene, you're going to get a lot of extras. And what I thought, it's not a lot to do anything with, but you certainly can decorate the inside of the card with it. So one thing I did with the sample card is that I cut out one of the scenes, so the crane with some of the water foliage there, and then I put some down there. So I cut that out, put it on a glue dot, but I'm not going to waste this piece either. Let's go ahead and use that. Nobody said you have to have a full mat behind things, right? You can use your scraps. Nobody's gonna mail your card back to you if you don't use a full mat underneath your focal points. So that's gonna go there. Okay, now I'm thinking here. I had just cleaned up my table. If you saw my post from yesterday, I had a checklist of things, and one of them was to clean up my table. I did that. So I no longer have my pile of white sitting here. I'm going to step away and get my white. Here's the white scrap, which I normally have at the top of my mat, which was what you would have seen as my camera kept on moving up. But I had just cleaned that off, so it wasn't up there. So here's my scrap. I think what I'm going to do is find a small scrap. I'm going to stamp this again. And shut this up because I'm done with this now. We're going to get all fancy here. So one thing I don't like about the rubber stamps is you can't really tell if you're stamping stuff straight. And especially when we're trying to do stuff on camera, you get like a 50-50 chance of getting it straight. I like to use a stamparatus if I'm doing a lot of sentiment stamping, or I need an image someplace on a card repetitively. But if you just need one thing and it's not straight, go ahead and fussy cut. Get that gorgeous roll of satin ribbon out again. Let's just use it to our advantage. Do another strip here. So the satin ribbon really adds luxury to a card. There. Okay. Now I'm going to put this over that. So we cover up all of that. I could pop it up. Do I want to pop it up? How about, I never pop stuff up on the inside, but I did add, oh, let's just go for it. You know what? We are going to, I didn't finish my sentence. I did add one of those polished dots as a little focal point up to the little crane at the top. So the inside's going to be thick anyway. There. All right, so can we see any of the extra things that I added? Let's see if I can pull this off. Pull that down a little more. Just a little bit hanging out on either side of that satin. Oh, and can you see it? Because my camera phone is slipping. Okay, move this white away from me, all that white scrap. All right. Yes, Susan, I am efficient at using those white scraps. I seriously leave them at the top of my mat, and I use them all the time. All right, and mine is out, so I'm going to revert to my glue dots here. I just noticed that before while I was setting up, and got sidetracked and didn't get another refill of my stamp and seal out. So we can just use some glue dots. There, now finish it off. Fussy cut all those little cranes in those images. Use them to your advantage. How about we put it down here this time? Right there. And then I have one little polished dot. The polished dots, let me look here. They come in two sizes. I was gonna say three, but I think there's just two. Let me open it up. I've used quite a few of these. I generally tend to go for the small ones first. Yeah, there's just two sizes, the small and the large. And that little small one I'm going to put right there. Power of 3. So crane, foliage, and dot. All right, so there's the card. I did pretty good, right? There's a sample card. There's the card that I did or created with you. Now, I did have a little mini catalog tour, so I already showed you that I am focusing on the Crane of Fortune, Symbols of Fortune suite for this hour. I have the floor for the next hour. And this is the only demonstration, though, that I will be doing. I have got some posts. I think one post already went up because I had it scheduled. One post went up 12 hours ago because I didn't realize I posted it at an AM time instead of a PM time. So you're actually going to get 5 posts from me. But they'll just be posts that you can just look at and comment on. Appreciate all your comments and liking our photos and all that good stuff. All right, so your small catalog tour, so I can tell you where the things are that I use to make my card. I use Smoky Slate cardstock. I also use the basic white cardstock and the soft Succulent cardstock. I use the basic gray ink pad as well to stamp my sentiment. And then the adhesives that I used would have been the Stampin' Seal and the glue dots. And the die set that I use is on page 166, the Stitched So Sweetly. It's that largest shape die. All right, and that's it. Pretty simple card, but a lot of details going on. I like to use that designer series paper to make it work for me instead of having to work to make a card fabulous. All right, I think that's it. I'm going to sign off. I hope you have a great event. The presenters will be alternating and going back and forth between all 4 of our products that we are spotlighting. Love and Happiness Bundle, the Butterfly Brilliance from the annual catalog, and also the new Heart and Home suite from the spring catalog are the products we are featuring during our presentations this time around. All right, I'm going to sign off. Jackie, thank you for saying I have a nice card. Emily, you're welcome. Thanks for tuning in. And yes, Sandra, those white scraps do explode like crazy if you don't stay on top of them. All right, we'll stamp with you soon. Bye.